Hey boys and girls, Mrs. Hepburn here. We're going to read Halfway to Perfect again today. You're going to need your reading response journal, and we'll be talking about chapters 5 through 7. As you listen, there's going to be questions to answer in your reading response journal when I'm finished. So I'm going to show you those questions that you can think about those as I'm sitting here. I'm going to try to scoot that up for you. And reading, I want you to be able to answer in chapter 6. In the last paragraph it says, "But Diamond's nothing was like a heavy stone in her pocket, weighing her down for the rest of the day." So think about, what does this sentence mean? Why did the author use this type of writing to explain her feelings? And then in chapter 7, they have feeling faint. How do you think Amberline is feeling about the way her classmates are treating her? And what would you do to be a good friend? So, listen up. Chapter 5. This little piggy. It took about a week for Free to notice Damaris had gone back to eating like normal. "I thought you were on a diet," said Free one day. "Not anymore," said Damaris, after washing down a spoonful of macaroni and cheese with a swig of chocolate milk. "I'm done with all of that." "That's too bad," said Free. "I was kind of getting used to eating your fries." "Free," said Diamond. "What?" Free gave Diamond his innocent look. "I'm a growing boy." "Oh, so that's why your head's so fat," said Diamond. Free stuck his tongue out at her and turned his attention back to Damaris. "I don't know why you were dieting in the first place," he said. "It's not like you needed to." Diamond and Damaris shared a secret smile. Diamond wasn't done keeping an eye on Damaris, though. Every now and then she still caught Damaris staring long and hard at herself in the mirror. What's more, whenever one of the super skinny girls from class passed by, Damaris watched them with envy, and there was one more thing. Damaris started watching Amberline. Take yesterday. Diamond and Damaris were standing in the lunch line, minding their own business, reading the menu. "I can't make up my mind," said Diamond. "Should I have pepperoni pizza?" "I love pizza, but I cannot stand pepperoni." "You could just pick them off and give them to Free," said Damaris. "True," said Diamond. "That boy will eat anything." "Make up your mind already," came a sharp voice from behind them. Diamond and Damaris spun around and saw Amberline. Damaris instantly sucked in her stomach. "What's the big hurry?" asked Diamond, who didn't like being yelled at. "Just give me a sec." But Amberline just pushed past the girls and cut in front of them. "Oh, forget this. I'm not waiting," she said. "The nerve," thought Diamond. "Uh-oh," said Tanya, who was at the front of the line. "Here comes Miss Piggy." Damaris winced, waiting for Amberline to react, but Amberline acted as if though she had never even heard the insult. Diamond shook her head and went back to studying the menu. "Okay, pizza it is," Diamond decided. From the corner of her eye, she noticed Damaris staring after Amberline with a look of awe on her face. "Did you see that?" asked Damaris. "What?" Amberline being rude. "Yeah, who could miss that?" "No, not that," said Damaris. "They called her Miss Piggy, and she didn't even blink." "So?" asked Diamond. "So? I wish I could do that," said Damaris. "She doesn't even seem to care what other people say about her. Not like me." "Yeah, well," said Diamond, "that girl is nobody to be jealous of." Damaris stiffened. "Who said I was jealous?" "Oh, please," said Diamond. "I'm not jealous. I'm not. It's just if somebody called me fat, it would really bother me. But Amberline doesn't care what other people think," said Damaris. "I wish I could be like that." "Well, they better not call you fat when I'm around," said Diamond. Damaris smiled at that. "Even if they do, I'm not going to start dieting again," said Damaris, "so don't worry." But Diamond was worried. "Look, Damaris, Hey, said Freeze, joining them in line. "What are you two yammering about?" Wonder what yammering means. Think about that. Yammering. What are you two yammering about? What do you think Free meant when he said that? "Nothing," said Damaris. "Nothing," echoed Diamond. But Diamond's nothing was like a heavy stone in her pocket, weighing her down for the rest of the day. That's actually, if you look at this, it says the heavy stone in her pocket, weighing her down for the rest of the day. What do you think that sentence means? I want you to write that there. Feeling faint. Diamond studied Damaris day after day, watching to see if she would skip the french fries or the chicken nuggets or the pizza when those foods turned up on the lunch menu. But Damaris never did. I'm still worried, thought Diamond, eyeing her friend in class. She's still not comfortable with herself. Diamond knew she was right. She noticed that Damaris had stopped wearing belts and always seemed to be trying to stretch out her shirts so they would come far down on her hips. She may not be on a diet, thought Diamond, but she's still not happy. Diamond wasn't sure what to say about it, though. Well, Diamond, said Mrs. Cordell, can you tell me the answer? Diamond looked up at her teacher, blinking. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, said Diamond. You should be, said Mrs. Cordell. Try to pay attention. Just then, the bell went off, signaling a fire drill. All right, class, said Mrs. Cordell. Line up quickly. In all the rush and shuffle, Damaris and Amberline ended up right side by side. Right away, Damaris sucked in her stomach and stood a little straighter. Damaris didn't want anybody calling her Miss Piggy just because she was in line next to Amberline. Damaris wanted to talk to Amberline to ask if she really didn't care when the kids called her fat, or if she was just pretending. Damaris wanted to ask Amberline lots of things, but Amberline kept her mouth shut tight and looked straight ahead as if Damaris weren't even there. Why is Amberline like that? Damaris wasn't sure if she'd ever know. The class marched outside and stood for a few minutes, fidgeting until the bell rang for them to go back to their classrooms. On the way in, Diamond heard a scream. That's Damaris, whispered Diamond, following the voice. She saw her friend kneeling on the sidewalk, bent over someone lying still on the ground. As Diamond got closer, she saw that someone was Amberline. Get the nurse, ordered Damaris. Hurry! So we're going to pause here, guys, thinking about how do you think Amberline is feeling about the way her classmates are treating her? And I want you to write about that now. And what would you do to be a good friend to Amberline? How do you think you could help her? What do you think you could do that would be a good friend? So think about that, write about this, and we'll be talking about it today. Great job, guys.